So far, there have been 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life that we know of. And the reason why I say that we know of is because we're looking at a very real possibility here that there have been other attempts in other ways that weren't as blatant as a crazed gunman trying to take him out. Now, of course, we already know what happened at his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. We now know a little bit more about what happened in West Palm Beach, Florida. But apparently, and listen, there's very few details out there right now. We don't really know what is going on. But it appears as if some people who were attending one of Donald Trump's rallies in Tucson, Arizona, it appears as if they were possibly poisoned or subjected to some type of chemical attack. Now, is this some type of maybe the pyrotechnics or something going on at the show that caused problems with these people? I don't know. But apparently some people who were sitting close to where Trump was at this rally, about 20 people came down with this mysterious illness, and there's no explanation as to what happened to them. And I feel like this opens a conversation to, hey, we don't just have to worry about crazy gunmen taking Trump out. What about the people that are, working with his food? If I was Donald Trump, I would be paranoid and I would not trust anyone right now. I don't know how this dude is functioning in the way he is, because it's very obvious that the powers that be want him gone, and they will go to any extent to get rid of him. They don't even really try to cover it up anymore, folks. If you look into Ryan Wesley Ruth, they did not do a good job of covering that up, but that's a conversation for another day. Right now, we need to focus on what happened at that rally, and why are these people who were sitting so closely to Trump, why does it appear that, I don't want to keep saying a chemical attack, but it definitely looks shady. Let's go ahead and roll this clip. Let's listen to a little bit more. Let's hear from the people who are affected, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Supporters of former President Donald Trump that were allowed to sit behind his stage at his Tucson rally last week tell the News 4 Tucson investigators they left with mysterious injuries to their eyes. News 4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter Course Nylander is live outside the Tucson Music Hall downtown. Course, what are we learning about their situation?
Yeah, well, Monica, this is where thousands of people came out to hear former President Donald Trump speak last week. There was a group of 48 people allowed to sit on stage behind Trump throughout the event. They were split into 2 groups on each side of the stage. One side seemed to walk away without any issues, but multiple people seated near each other on the other side tell me that they had to go to the emergency room after they left the event. Here tonight, for the first time, the Trump campaign is confirming that they're investigating this situation.
No taxes on Social Security benefits for our seniors.
More than 2,000 people filled up the Tucson Music Hall Thursday to hear Donald Trump's first speech in Tucson this campaign as Election Day nears. Some of his biggest supporters were allowed to sit behind him on stage. Supporters like Myra Rodriguez, a former director of Planned Parenthood with a notable shift to being pro-life. In 2016, she sat behind presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on stage at an event. Now she supports Donald Trump. She enjoyed the rally, but once she left, everything changed.
As soon as we left and I stepped outside, I started feeling like my eyes were burning.
At first, she thought it might be allergies. She lives near Phoenix. By the time she got home, it was so bad she decided to go to the emergency room.
The emergency room staff keeps saying, from the triage nurse to the PA, and are you sure you don't get spray anything? Your symptoms look like you were sprayed something.
The News 4 Tucson investigators spoke to her the morning after the rally, Friday last week. That morning, she was nearly blind.
I can't see anything. When I try to open my eyes, it's like a white cloud covered. It hurts. It hurts a lot to open my eyes. I have this cold cloth that I put on and I take off all the time. But this is horrible.
She says the doctors weren't able to determine what exactly caused it. Her initial thought of allergies went out the window when she heard from several others seated next to her at the rally that also ended up seeking medical attention with the same symptoms.
Kept getting worse and worse. My eyes started watering a lot. My nose started running. Then I started feeling my face get really flushed, and then my neck felt like it was on fire. And it just progressed from there.
This Tucson woman, who doesn't want to be identified, was seated in the same area behind Trump with her brother. Both walked away with eye injuries and sought medical attention.
I was all focused on my eyes. I mean, my eyes were red like hell, you know? I mean, it's like, it just like unbearable. You just couldn't, I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it.
Whatever caused it seems to be isolated to the group seated on stage right. Former Congressional District 6 candidate Kathleen Wynne was seated on the opposite side of the stage and says she and everyone she knows seated near her walked away without any issues.
We hope that there's no nefarious actors in this and that this is not a strategic hit for those that are supporting Donald Trump.
Myra reported her injuries to the Trump campaign and says she was told it was being investigated. Myra feels it's crucial for people to be made aware of what happened and what could have caused her injuries.
Obviously, what I would like is an investigation, right? That this does not get away with it.
I want to be very clear. We do not know at this point if a person caused any of this or what exactly the cause could be. We can only speculate at this point, but that apparently is what the Trump campaign is trying to get to the bottom to at this point. Less than an hour ago, the Trump campaign senior advisor Danielle Alvarez sent us a statement reading, quote, "The Trump campaign has been collecting information. We remain committed to the countless patriots that attend our high-energy, high-impact rallies across the country." I did also speak with the United States Secret Service. They tell me they were not informed of any of this and only learned about it when I called them, but they said there was no known threat to President Trump during his event here in Tucson last week. We'll update you as we get more information on this situation. We're live from downtown Tucson tonight. Cora Snylander, News 4 Tucson.
Cora, thank you for that.
So what say you all, folks? Personally, for me, if this was just one person complaining about something like this, I wouldn't think too much of it. And if it were two people, maybe I would say, hey, this is kind of weird, but I wouldn't look into it as much. But we got over 20 people who have been affected by this. And if you know anything about how, some of this shady stuff goes on in the government, then you would definitely be asking questions. Have any of you all ever heard of Havana syndrome? I mean, listen, there's ways to take people out. You don't always have to come with an assault weapon. You know what I mean? You don't have to find a crazy individual to carry out one of your acts for you. Sometimes they can take people out in other ways. There's other extremely effective methods to take people out, or at the very least harm people in ways where you might not expect it, where you might not see it coming. I'm afraid that, Donald Trump may shake the wrong person's hand, and they may have something in their hand that may poison Donald Trump. You never know what could happen, but as of right now, one thing we do know is that no one has provided an official explanation as to what happened to these people. Where are all the medical experts now? When it's time to lock you down and keep you from living your free life, when it's time to shut down small businesses, the medical experts are everywhere on every news station flapping their gums. But we got 20 Trump supporters that look like they have been subjected to some type of chemical attack, and not a single medical expert is speaking out. What's up with that? But here we have yet another problem to worry about when it comes to Trump. And because of everything we've already seen happen in the last few months, we cannot look at this problem and ignore it. Maybe in the past we had the privilege of overlooking little things like this. Not anymore, folks. Not anymore. Because if they're willing to send Thomas Matthew Crooks, if they're willing to send Ryan Wesley Ruth, then I guarantee you they're willing to do some shady stuff behind the scenes, with chemicals, powders, poisons, what have you. So Who knows what we'll find out about this? Probably nothing. Luckily, a lot of the people are starting to recover, but I'm hoping that these people who were affected, they need to stay on top of this. They need to get to the bottom of what happened to them. So they need to be talking to any medical expert that they can about this, because we, the American people, we deserve answers, because this is bigger than just what happened to these 20 people, because it could happen to Trump next. It could happen to this politician or that politician next. We need to know what's actually going on here. But for now, let me know what you think is going on here down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.